Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome to the Oriental Café, a podcast where we will sit at the same table to explore the fascinating worlds of Egyptian dance, personal empowerment, and halas, life. I'm your host, Joana Saahirah, world-renowned Oriental dancer, teacher, choreographer, and author, the creator of the pioneering Joana Saahirah's World and Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School. I will meet you at the Oriental Café every 2 weeks, alone or with a guest, sharing intimate yet universal conversations. In agreement or disagreement, we will create bridges and inspire each other, because the world is only one, and so is our human soul. Ready to fall in love? Yalla bina! What makes Egyptian dance a magical art form? Is this even real? Is it nonsense? Is it a smart slogan to sell Egyptian dance? Is it something that weird people say about this niche, this exotic art form nobody really understands? In this episode of our podcast, The Oriental Café, I'm going to reveal if Egyptian dance is truly magical in the sense of wizards and access to other dimensions, or if this is total BS, nonsense, craziness. You are going to want to stay and listen till the end, because this is going to be exciting. As usual, I am going to draw from direct experience. I'm not going to tell you what I read in a book, what I've seen other dancers doing, because that's not how I roll. You already know that. I'm always going to draw from direct experience. I've been in the field of Egyptian dance professionally at the highest level for 20 plus years. First in Egypt, then around the world, as a performer, as a choreographer, as a teacher, an author, and most of all, a student and an observer. I have observed how the magic of Egyptian dance operates in me, and also in thousands of dances that I have coached, dances that I have learned from, dances that I have judged and followed and got insights from. So this is going to be interesting, transformational, and hopefully a wake-up call for a lot of folks who claim to love Egyptian dance but perhaps haven't experienced it yet. Am I provocative now? Maybe, but I'm telling you the truth. Welcome to episode number 14 of the Oriental Café podcast by yours truly, Joana Saahirah. I'm here holding my coffee, and I gotta confess before we start, I feel nervous about this episode, and when I was thinking about it, I thought, this is impossible to do, because I'm going to try to name the unnameable. I'm going to try to put words into things that go and exist and roll beyond words. I'm going to try the impossible challenge of speaking about stuff that is totally beyond our rational understanding. How am I going to do that? But I like me a good challenge, so here we are. I'm going to give my best to tell you, where does the magic of Egyptian dance lie? Let's go into it. First things first, I want to invite you to subscribe to the podcast newsletter if you want special insights, exclusive content from me and my guests, and updates on new episodes and special events we're only going to share inside our podcast community. You will find a link to join our podcast newsletter either in the description box below this video, if you're watching the episode on YouTube, or in the show notes if you're listening to the episode on the podcast platforms. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm also going to invite you to join our Tarab experience, a 3-module course with me and George Saweh and Sharifa Zuhur, only available at Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School. That course has magic written all over it. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it and why it's deeply connected to the theme of this episode. More information about the Tarab experience also in the description box below this video or in the show notes. Now, let's dive directly into it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're gonna see me checking my notes every once in a while because I really don't want to forget anything. First things first, what makes Egyptian dance magical is, let me take a look. Yes, I already know what it is. It's about getting into foreign land and being liberated by that foreign land. Let me explain. This is particularly true, in fact, for foreign dances, not so true for Egyptian dancers. I'm going to tell you why. Because Egyptian dancers are born and raised in Egyptian culture, if they have lived in Egypt all their life. So they are constrained by the taboos, the prejudices, the preconceived ideas that Egyptian society has around Egyptian dance and around the body of women. As a foreign dancer, I am not constrained by those taboos, prejudices, and preconceived ideas. I am limited by my own culture, not by Egyptian culture. That is a limitation, but it is also a strength. There's so much that we study about Egyptian culture when we get to study Egyptian dance, but nobody mentions what we gain from not having been born and raised within that culture. And what we gain is an absence of taboos, limitations, prejudices, and preconceived ideas around Egyptian dance and the body of women. I, Joana Saahirah, think of Egyptian dance as a pure, beautiful art form. I am not constrained by Islamic ideas. I am not constrained by ideas related with the fact that women shouldn't show themselves in public or shouldn't expose their bodies in public. I am not constrained by the fact that Egyptian dance is considered haram, yani forbidden by God, something that is not right, something that leads you into the wrong path. I am not constrained by those limitations. I am constrained by other limitations of my culture because every culture has its negative and positive side. Every culture limits you and expands you in a very specific way. As a foreigner, I am not bound by the same boxes and limitations that Egyptians are bound by. That gives me a disadvantage. And it gives me an advantage. I go into foreign land, into foreign exotic territory, and in that absence of taboos and prejudices, I am free. I discover myself through the foreigner, the exotic, the different, because that territory is absolutely free from the taboos that Egyptian dances and Arabic dances in general will carry with them. This is the first reason why Egyptian dance can be particularly magical for foreign dancers. Not because we're better or we're worse. I'm not getting into that nonsensical conversation. What I'm saying is culture and mentality limits you. And it expands you also. And if you are born outside of the Egyptian culture, you're coming with a certain disadvantage and a certain advantage. The advantage lies in being free from the constraints of that culture, and that in itself, it's going to open doors of magic, of discovery, of freedom, pleasure, joy, and personal evolution. That is nothing short of magical. The second reason that we can claim in favor of the magic of Egyptian dance is the liberating effect it has on your physical body. Now, I come from classical ballet, and I know, again, from experience, that most Western dances constrain your body. Most cultures, from the East to the West, constrain your body. If you're a woman, you have been told to slim down, to shrink, to be light, to be invisible, to be pleasant. You have been told directly or indirectly that your body is dangerous, a nuisance, or something that you should be hiding, something that you should be careful about, and something that you should definitely slim to the point of oblivion, to the point that you are a fairy, you are a bird, you are a feather, you are nothing. Can you feel it? I'm sure you can feel it. When you study Egyptian dance, for the first time perhaps, at least that's how it happened with me, and how it happens with so many dances that I've seen and see. When we study Egyptian dance for the first time, our physical bodies are invited to liberate themselves. They're invited to expand. They're invited to take up space. Instead of telling us, you gotta shrink, you gotta become smaller and lighter and more invisible and perhaps even able to fly, you are told to work with gravity. You are told to work with the weight of the body. You are told that that weight is beautiful, that this is a human body. This is not a fairy body. This is not a cloud. It is not a flower. It is a human body, the body of a woman or the body of a man. You are told to move with that weight, with that gravity, and to take up space. You're not told to disappear, to become smaller, to become a little bit less visible. You're told the absolute opposite. Expand, grow, take up space. That in itself is another huge gift that we receive from Egyptian dance, and it is magical because once you take up space physically, you start to take up space mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You come back to yourself. You come back home and you claim your birthright, your right to exist in the world. Here's who I am. Here's my body. Here's my voice. Here's what I feel and think. Here's my soul. Here's my essence, and I'm not gonna hide them. This is a byproduct, believe me, of Egyptian dance. And I don't know what you consider magical. How do you define it? But for me, this is pure magic because it transforms everything. I suddenly become more confident. I suddenly love my body a little bit more. I suddenly have a voice and I'm not afraid to show it. I suddenly don't care if others are bothered by the space that I take. They have the right to feel bothered. It's their problem. I have the right to exist. And that's a byproduct of Egyptian dance when properly taught, of course. That's the second reason why Egyptian dance can be truly magical in the sense of transforming you and transforming your life for the better. Now, what else do we have? I'm taking a sneak peek at my list. If you're watching this on YouTube, you know, because you're watching me. The magic of Egyptian dance can also be defined by something that a lot of dancers dismiss. And that is the music. Egyptian music in particular has a very specific effect on our brain and our heart. It has a wide range of emotional colors. It has a wide range of rhythms and makamet, the melodic modes. It has a wide range of details, nuances, contrasts, moods, feelings, sensations. It's an emotional roller coaster that will no doubt trigger you, move you, make you feel stuff you didn't even know you felt, and halas, it will stimulate you mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, in the direction of your humanity, of what makes you human, and in the direction of your soul. So this is important. Why? Because So many dancers focus exclusively on the physical movement. They think Egyptian dance is about the movement. And I'm here to tell you that Egyptian dance starts in the ears. It doesn't start in the movement per se. It starts with your ability to listen to the music, relate to the music on an emotional, truthful, human level, and then work with it. Read it and interpret it, and allow it to transform you, to move you, to heal you, to release you. Allow the music to work on you, right? But for that to happen, you have to value it. You have to pay attention to it. You have to learn how to listen to it. Otherwise, you're hyper-focused on physical action. You presume that's all there is to Egyptian dance. Big mistake. And you are missing not only the art in this dance form, but you are missing the magic of this dance form, which lies at a great extent in the power of the music. The power of the music on you. How the music moves you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Specific rhythms like the zar, for instance, or the wahda kibira, they are intentionally created to lead us to a specific place, like a shaman, guiding us towards our soul, towards our heart, towards a magical place where there is only peace. They are not innocent. They are created and played with the acknowledgement that they will have an effect on the listener. Now, if you are a dancer, you gotta double or triple that effect. Because listening is one thing, listening and moving with what you are listening to is another thing. So you have to amplify the effect. If there is an effect of tarab, of transcendence, of transition upon the ears of the listener, can you imagine the effect the music has on a listener who is also a dancer? It's crazy. We can fly. And again, I don't know about you, but this is magic. It is magic. So do not underestimate the power of the music that we use in Egyptian dance. Now, not every music is suitable for Egyptian dance. Not every music we use in Egyptian dance is great music, quality-wise, but in general, these are the kind of rhythms and melodies and moods and sensations and nuances and details and pauses and silences that will move you from the core. They have a cathartic, releasing, healing effect on the human soul, on the human mind, heart, and body. What else do we have? Let me take a sip of my water and let me invite you also to share your feedback, right? Have you experienced the magic of Egyptian dance? If so, tell me why. Jump into the comments and tell me why and how you consider this dance form a magical tool. Or if you don't consider it magical at all, I would love to hear from you in the comments. And of course, like the episode if you like it, share it with your dance peeps, follow it on the podcast platforms, rate it, drop a comment of appreciation. This podcast is created with so much love, so much work, and often sacrifice. You can give back by supporting it and telling me if you really enjoy it and sharing it with your community. Now, let's move forward. Another sip at my coffee. Another reason why Egyptian dance is magical has to do with its sensual movement. Now, let me explain a little bit more. I'm not talking about seduction, and I'm not talking about sexuality. I'm not talking about using Egyptian dance to call attention to yourself or to hit a target, to affect someone, to seduce someone. All of that is valid. Have fun. If you're not hurting anyone, I mean, who cares? I don't care. As long as you're not hurting anyone, girl, woman, boy, man, alien, whoever you are, have fun. really. But let's go back to the original purpose of the dance and what it really does to the dancer. It's not about seduction, it's about sensuality. What is the difference? Let me go back to this. Seduction is about attracting someone with what I'm doing. May that be Egyptian dance or anything else, right? I'm doing something to attract someone, to have an effect on someone. Sensuality is about me. It's about claiming my birthright to pleasure. It's about having as much pleasure and joy in my life as I can. It's about savoring, juicing every experience to the maximum because I deserve it. Why not? I'm not here to suffer. Life is difficult as it is. I suffer when necessary. But if I can choose, and we can choose most of the time, I'm going to choose joy. I'm going to choose pleasure. I'm going to choose to feel the best that I can feel. That's sensuality, okay? And why is this connected with the magic of Egyptian dance? Because in Egyptian dance technique, we activate muscles and bones and joints, parts of our body that are usually not required in any other kind of dance or sports or in the activity we have in our daily life. So we are stimulating the body in a very unique and new way. That's the first thing. The second thing is Egyptian dance technique is based on contraction, distension, and release. Contraction, as in contraction, distension, as in distension, or release, letting go, okay? These three physical dynamics or processes are pleasurable. They're very pleasurable if we are engaged with them. And if you're studying with a professional teacher, I'm not saying a choreographer who will dump a choreography on your lap and wish you good luck. I'm telling you about a teacher, a professional teacher who can teach. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. If you have one of those, lucky you are going to be taught to go through those contractions, surrenderings, and distensions fully, by savoring them fully, completely, taking the time and the space to feel what the hell you're doing, as opposed to just moving from step to step, movement to movement, and you're not even feeling it. It's like going through your to-do list. Item number 1, check. Item number 2, check. Item number 3, check. Yes, my to-do list is complete for today. I am a nice machine, very efficient, very productive, competitive, fast, unbeatable. I am number 1. No, wrong. Egyptian dance is not about being a factory or a machine or a robot. It's about being a person. Savor it. Egyptian dance, when properly taught, is going to teach you how to savor your physical body to the core, to the bone, to the essence. And that deep physical engagement will take you back to your soul. The image that I usually use to teach this to my students is the image of a tall, strong tree. The taller the tree, the longer the roots. The more I am rooted in my physicality, the higher I can go in my connection to the sky, in my connection to other realms, in my connection to the soul, in my connection to my essence. In order to go up, I have to go down. In order to fly, I have to be grounded. The more grounded I am, the deeper my roots are, the higher I can fly. And Egyptian dance, when properly taught, is gonna do that through physical, sensual engagement. That's another magical dimension of Egyptian dance that I am so sorry to tell you, most dancers have never heard about. And I'm not saying they're not good. I'm not saying they're not clever. I'm not saying they're not talented. I'm saying that this is not taught. And if it's not taught, you're probably never going to think about it. And certainly you're never going to experience it. I'm here to invite you to do things differently. At least try. and report back. And if it doesn't work, go back to your regular way of doing things. Why not? Whatever works, works. And once again, I will invite you to take a look at the Tarab Experience, our pioneering online course with me, Joana Saahirah, and two fabulous guest teachers, Mr. Jorge Sawa and Sharifa Zuhur. All the information about this online pioneering course is in the description box below this video or in the show notes. Don't forget to check it, okay? Now, what else do we have? We have a deep emotional release, because this is an art form that activates the heart, or the hearts, but more about the heart in a second. Through the music and through the movements, combined with good breathing and a good state of relaxation, you're going to be invited to release your emotions, not the pleasant emotions, not the cool emotions, all your emotions. That emotional release in itself is magical, because you're going to become more vulnerable, more human, more in touch with yourself, and you're going to be able to use your emotions to get to know yourself and others a little bit better. That means better life quality. This is why I cannot separate Egyptian dance from personal growth. This is why in all my teachings, workshops, courses, private classes, professional mastermind for professional dancers, in my school at Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School, all my students know that I teach Egyptian dance in the strict concept of Egyptian dance. That's the movement, the steps, the postures, the music, the culture, the mentality, everything that surrounds Egyptian dance in a strict way. But I also developed them personally, getting to know ourselves and using Egyptian dance for personal growth. That is not a choice. It comes with a package if we do it right. An emotional release is something that you need, not to go crazy, to remain human, to improve your relationship with yourself and with other people. It's also something that will make you more empathic towards others, and that in itself can be magical. If I feel the pain of others, and if I feel the joy of others, and if I become a more loving, a more sensitive, a more open and connected person, I'm going to change my world and the world of everyone that crosses my path. Last but not least, we are going to dive into the last reason why I know for a fact Egyptian dance is a magical art form. And notice there are many more reasons. I am picking the ones that I know are going to be the more impactful for you, okay? I'm making an effort to bring them to you through words, and it's not easy, okay? So give me a break and give me a like, because this is not an easy podcast episode to record. Last but not least, Egyptian dance is magical because it activates and works with the three hearts. What? What are you talking about, Joana? Are you crazy? What's three hearts? I only have one heart. And it's trouble enough to have one heart. You have three? I have three. You have three. Everyone has three. And in Egyptian dance, if we do it right, again, we're not talking about dropping choreographies on your lap. I'm talking about learning it for real. You're going to activate those three hearts. Where are they located? Let's talk in terms of energy. The first heart is located in the womb area. That's the second chakra or center of energy. The second heart is located in the middle of your chest. Okay? And that's connected with a heart that we associate with our human anatomy. And that's the fourth chakra or center of energy. That's the second heart. So the first is the womb. The second is in the chest area where our anatomic heart is located. And the third, is in the crown area right here, also known as the seventh chakra or the crown chakra. the door to other dimensions, our bridge, our corridor of connection, of a link between our physical selves and our spiritual selves. This earth and other dimensions parallel and above this earth. Am I pushing this too much? I hope not. If you think I'm crazy, I'm fine with it, as long as you listen and think about it and even disagree with me. I like disagreement, because disagreement, when delivered with respect, can bring new light to all of us. So if you disagree with me and if you think this is nonsense, what the hell are you talking about? Let me know in the comments. I would love to strike a conversation and to know exactly how you feel, okay? I'm interested. I'm a student. I will always be a student. Bring it on, baby. The third heart is the seventh chakra, the crown, and the bridge between worlds. The place from where we initiate ourselves in Reiki, the place from where we connect with our superior self, with the ones that have lived and are gone, but not quite, with other dimensions that we may not see or see, some of us see them, but we feel them. The first heart in the womb, the second heart in the chest area, the third heart in the chakra of the crown. These are the hearts, believe it or not, that are accessible and eager, dying to be activated in the art of Egyptian dance. And when you activate them, you never go back. You never go back to being shallow. You never go back to being hateful. You never go back to criticizing others or judging others or comparing yourself to others or harming others, because you see the big picture. You see the many big pictures out there. You become more powerful, more magnetic as a dancer, but you also open up as a person. It changes your life and it shows you that you are a magic wand. You don't carry a magic wand. You are the magic wand. And you are a piece of that magic. If you want to know more about the three hearts of Egyptian dance and so much more of what makes it magical, again, I am going to invite you to join the Tarab experience. This is a course which is always going to be available at our school, at Joana Saahirah's online dance school. So you can take it in your own time, at your own pace. You can do it and redo it as many times as you like. And this is a course that is going to introduce you to the theme of magic in Egyptian dance, how we can become magical dancers through this magical dance, how we can bring more magic, more joy, more pleasure, more transcendence, bliss, and ecstasy to our existence through the art, the magical art of Egyptian dance. All information about this course is in the description box below the video if you're watching this episode on YouTube, and also in the show notes on the podcast platforms. Last but not least, I'm going to invite you once again to subscribe to our podcast newsletter if you want to receive updates of new episodes, exclusive content from me and my guests. And I'm also going to invite you to check the pioneering online courses we have at Joana Saahirah's online dance school, the best there is in terms of authentic Egyptian dance, Oriental and Folkloric, personal discovery and empowerment. You're going to find the link somewhere in the places that I've already mentioned, as well as the link to our website, a free learning page that you do not want to miss, and so much more. Let me know what you thought about this episode, if you agree with me that Egyptian dance is magical and how it has operated its magic on you. Like this episode if you liked it, share it with your dance peeps, rate it and comment on it on the audio platforms. And of course, get ready for our upcoming episode of the Oriental Café podcast with a very, and I mean Oh my God, very special guest that you do not want to miss. I'm gonna give you a hint, a clue, a little bit of a spoiler. He's coming from Luxor, Upper Egypt. He wears galabeya. He's one of the most talented people I've ever met. And he's a magical person too. He's magic. He's a wizard. And you're gonna love him. Ooh, baby. Are you crazy about it? I'm already crazy about it. Stay tuned for the upcoming episode of the Oriental Café podcast by yours truly, Joana Saahirah. Until then, please stay well, stay magical, stay dancing, and receive my usual warm, magical kiss. Mwah.